And also, you know, like letting him meet other people, not being afraid of strangers. So I love this story. When he was maybe, must have been like 7 months older, maybe a little older. Anyway, a baby, right, just crawling around. I was at this park in San Francisco with a group of friends. It's a big, busy park. This motherfucker gets up, crawls over to another group of people, sits down with them, smiles, pats them all, eats some of their food, hung out with an entire group of strangers, like looked, saw me, waved, hangs out with like this other group of people, I don't even know them, for about a half an hour, and then crawls back over, hugs me, checks in with people of my party. So, you know, really kind of from that young age, like after they tell you to stay home from the hospital for 2 weeks, and I can't stay home for 2 weeks. So after a week, I was out around people on a daily basis, and really he can tell like when it's okay to go up to people, and when he also really recognizes when he needs to be with me. You know, in a group like this, there's times when he'll go and he'll hang out with all of you guys, and then there are times like now, nap time, all he wants to do is be with me or his Maddie, you know? And so listening to him, encouraging him to not be afraid, those are sort of the key things. So then the last one is challenges gendered hierarchy and heterosexism. And you know, for me, that's, when I was pregnant, I was like, I'm not gonna have blue, no blue. All people gave me all these clothes, no blue, and no trucks, and no, you know. And I had a lot of rules for myself about what it was gonna be like, you know, in terms of how I wanted to raise him, like without gender. Turns out people have bodies, and we live in a gendered society. People give boys trucks. Also, he's obsessed with wheels, so. Which includes wheelchairs, strollers. But so toy trucks are really fun for him right now. I have to let that go. Actually, there's a great picture of me. I was like, I'm not gonna use a pacifier. I'm not gonna use one of those baby Bjorn things. It's like only the sling and the breast and, you know, gender neutral colors. And there's this amazing picture of me. He's in the Bjorn the one time I wore one. He's got a pacifier in his mouth and he's wearing all blue. And I'm like, so setting some of that stuff aside, you know, like I really want to challenge, but gender is not just about trucks and blue clothes. So it's also about the way that I interact with him. Somebody told me, you need to make sure, his dad lives in San Francisco and is much more feminine than me, but someone said, you need to make sure that he has a man around to roughhouse with him. And I was like, I roughhouse with him. It was with my therapist, actually. And I said, I roughhouse with him, and she's like, you're not enough. And I was like, I am far more butch than his dad will ever be. I roughhouse with him enough. My mom can nurture him, his dad can nurture him, I can roughhouse with him, it's fine. But I did and I do really like want to challenge people in like the gifts that they give him. He recently had his first birthday. I have a token bro friend who gave him a little baby sports center. And I said, you're the only person that's allowed to give him this. And I'm gonna let him play with it. I'm gonna do it, but really, like, having a kid, doesn't it feel like a constant challenge to like battle that stuff, and to learn when I need to fight my battles and when I don't, you know. So a few things. Oh, this is cool. I was like, does he need to learn how to pee standing up? Because I can't pee standing up, and a lot of my guy friends also can't pee standing up. So who needs to teach him how to pee standing up? Am I going to be like, hey, bro friend, will you teach my kid how to pee? Who cares, right? Does it matter? I'm not really sure that it matters. Maybe he could just figure it out.
It's just convenience.
Just convenience. Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. You know what? The thing that I've learned is like, just don't trip on this stuff, right? Like, works itself out. But these are interesting questions for me. And as a parent that wants to challenge gendered hierarchy and heterosexism, I want to say, does it matter that you know how to pee standing up? I don't know. You know? I just want to ask the question. And I just want to hear what people have to say about it. And I just want to like think about it more than maybe my parents thought about it, you know? Oh, this is a big one for me, is fighting against queer shame, right? Like, I don't have a problem with it, but I do know that some of my friends are worried, what's gonna happen when my kid finds out I'm gay? I don't know. But they're not gonna find out, right? You just are, surprise. And you know, that's just what I do. Like, I fuck who I fuck and I love who I love, and I don't trip out that my kid's gonna get some weird message about what I do. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, because if I'm worried, oh man, my kid's gonna find out whatever it is, big secret about me, then I'm not being honest with him, right? And I'm not parenting him from that like open, loving way. And I'm sort of teaching him that there's this like huge division between him and me in some way. And that, you know, I don't know. Oh, people love to tell me your baby is gonna break a lot of hearts. And they like to tell me, specifically those of girls, right? Like, he's gonna be a heartbreaker, the girls better watch out. And you know, I'm like, and the boys. And then also, what do they say? Never mind. I don't need to give you guys any more. So, what I wanted to do was really quick go over discipline, because as anarchists we say, what does it mean to discipline our child? We're anarchists, right? So what about using natural consequences? You know, he picks something up and puts it in his mouth, and it's a pine needle and it stabs him in the tongue. It's not going to kill him, right? He might not put another pine needle in his mouth. He might try it like 3 or 4 more times, actually. But, you know, just so natural consequences, really. That's how we learn things. Stating my expectations and getting out of the way. What if I say, and this obviously does not work necessarily with the 1-year-old, but for the older ones, here's what I'd like to have happen. And now it's on you, you know? Letting go of what you think they ought to do, how they ought to be, right? Sometimes my way is not the right way. I might not want my kid to have a sports center or a truck, and he might really want a sports center or a truck. Surprise, he gets one. And it's not the end of the world, right? Like, give your kids that freedom. Create a positive environment, right? So sort of, you know, not having everything be no all the time. No, bad, danger, the system's a danger. Giving specific instructions is helpful, right? So here, this is how this situation ought to go in order for you to stay safe. That way, if they don't follow the specific instructions, it's clear. It's not, well, you should have known better, you know? Give reasons. Kids need reasons. They want to understand why things are happening. They're just learning about the world, and we're their teachers. Redirecting or removing your kid if there's something dangerous in their way, redirect them, you know? He wanted to play with the pen, and I didn't want to play with the pen, so I gave him the phone. I don't want him to play with the phone anymore, I give him something else. Not just take it away and be like, I don't want you to have that, you know, but giving them something else. Works when they get older too, in other ways.